the teams then, just in case you missed the first game, you missed a cracker, and you shouldn't go anywhere for this one. For TSM, Chaox on Sivir, Xpecial on Sona, Reginald on Cassiopeia, Odd One on Lee Sin, and Rainman on Tryndamere. Over on the other side, we have Alex as Mordekaiser, Genja on Kog'Maw, Gosu Pepper on Nunu, and Diamonds with Shyvana, and finally Darian with Irelia. It doesn't look like we're going to see too much action, actually, from this Moscow 5 setup. They're spread, the 5 across the map, holding the defensive line. It's the Arsenal back 4 offside trap that they've got going on here. But we are going to see TSM moving into the jungle over on the other side. Diamonds is going to run himself away there as quickly as he possibly can. Doesn't want to end up having any trouble. And I assume that TSM are going to be getting wards down here somewhere there or thereabouts. There are 2 wards with Xpecial.
There's an instant counter, so they've seen that TSM were at the top there, and immediately Moscow 5 reacted and went straight in towards TSM's jungle. However, TSM haven't actually gone for it. They're funneling the way around. I'm not too sure if they'd have got vision of them there. I guess they should have switched to vision cam. Now the pings go down. They've realised it. They're going to go straight forward towards Darian there. They managed to actually put the poison down on him. But Darian is the target. They managed to get the poison dot. That's going to be the severe actually all to go to Boomerang Blade going straight across them there. I think he's going to flash through this one. The Ignite will not finish him off. Oh, but a Chaos has flashed through as well. Will manage to get the kill. Very nicely played. Back towards the mid there. And first blood going to Chaos. He's going to get the exhaust down on Gosu Pepper. He wants to finish off Nunu as well. Nunu's not really going to be able to walk away from this one. He's got to pass 4 members of TSM, and that will be a second kill as well. TSM having the dream start they wanted. They've got their AD carry with the first kill, and they've got Tryndamere with the first kill. Joe, that went brilliantly.
And that's what I was talking about. They've got to get off to a good start. And it was, for me, a slightly risky decision. It made sense that Moscow 5 would go in for that instant counter jungle as well. Ooh, down at bottom, we are going to see the pressure coming in onto Genja. Will Chaos be able to finish him off? Xpecial will come around as well. Boomerang Blade not quite got the range that they needed. But yeah, Moscow 5 went down. I think the real problem in amongst that one, Demon, was that Alex didn't quite see them coming back. And we've got blue buff on Reginald as he hits level 2. That's going to make him very, very hard to deal with for Mord in middle.
Well, it's what he needs against Mord in mid. It's like, how do you counter Mord in mid? You have to have blue buff, and which is obviously why they've picked Lee Sin, because Lee Sin doesn't need that blue buff. Genji can still very low down the bottom there, of course, doesn't have any sustain, doesn't have any heals coming in from Gosu Pepper, apart from that single heal spell that Genja actually has on him, hasn't used it, doesn't need to use it. Especially, you can see, trying to get in his face every second. Boomerang Blade going across, just about missing, skimming past him. And back in the middle, Reginald's going to have all the mana he likes. He can just farm like crazy now and try and keep away. And you can see immediately he's putting pressure on towards Mordekaiser, and that's what you got to do. You got to keep that armor down and keep pressuring him. Shyvana down bottom is about to leap through. Ward spotted, and he's going to port back. Joe, this is going to be another tense one.
It is a tense one, and it's obviously the perfect start for TSM, but it doesn't mean by any stretch of the imagination. I know there'll definitely be a lot of new people tuning in for this grand final with the hype that it's received within the community that have not watched games at this level before. That doesn't mean that this one is over. Don't think that by any stretch of the imagination, the way that Moscow 5 have been playing. However, bottom lane, TSM are doing very well. We mentioned that they've managed to do really well against these new support bottom lanes quite often. In fact, they've been pushing this lane already. It helps that Chaos is going to have the first blood in amongst that by the time he goes home. In fact, he's almost at 1,000 gold already.
Yeah, the odd one picking up the red buff. So remember, no invades, which is what we've seen. Genja getting poked again there. And I think Chaos is weighing up the thought of putting a boomerang blade across him there. We do have Shyvana hanging around in mid at the moment. I think Reginald's got a good control on Mordekaiser this time around, not like Dignitas managed to. Puts the poison and slowdown on towards Diamonds. Actually put a load of damage down as well. Not a great deal that Mordekaiser could do to help Reginald, being very aggressive. Of course, what he has to do with that blue, he's going to continue pushing on there. Flashing through, tries to go for Mordekaiser. Ignite goes down. It will be a finish. Reginald. And Reginald going strong, taking down the Wraiths as well. Diamond's not too sure whether he can do anything about it, and Reginald really is pushing that presence. So great work between the fact that Odd One picked up that Lee Sin early, knew damn well didn't need the blue buff, expected Mordekaiser, I think, personally, because we saw Mordekaiser earlier in the tournament, and he has just pushed his advantage with that blue buff superbly.
Yeah, and there's this... don't forget this whole personal thing in the middle lane as well between Alex and Reginald. We saw them in those pre-interviews there having confidence talk, let's say, and for Reginald, after TSM getting rolled over in that last game, that was a really important thing for him to do, to show Alex, you've got to respect me, mate. I am not bad at all. And that was really, really great play. Actually, Gosu Pepper just going up there, getting an award down in front of Dragon. We've seen Sivia go home. What's she coming back with? Double Doran's Blade, plus a little bit extra as well, wards and health pots, what have you. Meanwhile, Mordekaiser is waiting on the Wraiths to spawn before he heads back off into that lane against Reginald, who is currently sporting triple Doran's Ring, plus the boots then almost up at 100 AP already at the start.
Yeah, we can see Tryndamere is going back. He's got around about 1,200 gold, 1,300 gold on him. And like you say, Kirks has just returned to lane, as has Cogmore. Cogmore had to buy another stack of health pots because he's just got no sustain with him, no help. So he's having to stack up those health pots in the meantime. Reginald, of course, picking up that kill is going to be a huge advantage against Mordekaiser. He's got the 3 Doran split rings on him there, so he's just going to be completely pressuring Alex. So Alex is going to really struggle in mid. The worst thing you can do in lane is lose out to your opposite number, especially really without help, which he had no help at all. And you can see Mordekaiser can't really get near these mobs now. So Reginald really going to continue pushing out. And if anyone knows how to continually pressure once you get that advantage, it is going to be Reggie. So Chaos at the moment is going to try and do the exact same thing to Genja down the bottom here. Remember, always going to get caught out, has the spell shield up, eats the ice blast there. Special also coming across to try and put a bit of pressure down him. Shyvana, though, in the meantime, coming around the backside of Reginald. Ulti coming down from Alex. Alex has managed to put it down. Diamonds tries to come across. Reggie puts the ulti back towards Mordekaiser, and he's going to get help out from the odd one. I'm not too sure if it's enough. That ticking down. The Mordekaiser ulti has finished. He needs to just avoid any damage at all, and Reggie has managed to escape that one. Very nicely played, and really a good gank from Moscow 5. Completely would have been successful had the odd one not been there to support from the jungle. This is so close.
So close, but he's still going in the favour of TSM.
Oh, he's got a boomerang blade down the bottom. Chaos, they were both porting away on the edge bush there. There is a ward, TSM there. He waited till it literally ticked a couple of seconds and they went, no. Just boomerang blade across them.
Well, yeah, that last kill, Reginald, he actually missed the ultimate onto Shyvana, right? I think it maybe just got off to the wrong side of him or whatever. He would only need one siphon from Mordekaiser, I think, to have taken Reggie down, over the top of the wall as well. So, really, really close stuff. And, well, it's going the way of TSM, which they can be thankful for at the start of this. Reggie 1-0-2, Sivia 1-0-0, Tryndamere 1-0-0. So far, so good for the Americans, and that's what they need to have, because if they lose this one, Moscow 5 are champions.
There's nothing greater than a best of 3 going all the way as well, and that is what TSM will have to do. But we are only 8 minutes into this game, so let's not get ahead of ourselves as Reginald pulls those wraiths. And we know Mordekaiser can see him doing it and just doesn't feel there's a great deal that he can do about it. So Mordekaiser's now going back to buy. Meanwhile, at the top, Rayman's also having quite a bit of success on Tryndamere.
Sorry, they actually put the ulti down there across Cogmore and Pepper, which didn't quite work out. Actually, Special almost fell in amongst that one. Sorry to interrupt you.
That's okay. When there's issues around the map, I do not want to miss the action, as has happened only twice in this tournament. I'd like to point out to the internet listeners that do like to make a point of these things. But KX down the bottom, so let's have a look between the two. 63 to 44 CS. That's quite a sizable advantage, certainly not unattainable, and they can definitely come back from it. M5 looking like they're actually possibly positioning. Ghosty Pepper is just going to put the ward down and back away from that one. Clairvoyance did go down on Dragon. We are 9.5 minutes into it, so it's entirely possible, but I think the problem is bottom lane is being won by TSM, middle lane is being won by TSM. Top lane is pretty even between the two. 72 CS to 61. Slight advantage for Darian again. Darian hasn't had the chance to invade anywhere at the moment, though. So it's effectively working because it's keeping him in lane. But that's why we've not seen an early Dragon at all from Moscow 5. Going to be interesting to see Mordekaiser when he actually goes back. He has got that Hextech gun revolver now, so building up towards possible Will of Ancients there. I'm not too sure what he's going to go towards. He could definitely switch it, and knowing Moscow 5, they'll probably have something completely strange in their strat builds. But they are starting to position in the way that they look like they're possibly... Yeah, there's going to be a dragon. Definitely a dragon coming, Joe.
Yeah, definitely. Shyvana's coming down there.
Backs away.
Nunu is thinking about it as well. Maybe Shyvana will just go down. There we go. Pink ward. And that's going to clear out the vision that TSM had around the Dragon area. And will that be the signal for Moscow 5? Yeah. Irelia is coming down from the top. Actually, Trinity is all alone up there. So this would be a 5-on-4 fight. Genja just trying to force Chaos away. That was a nice shield put up there by Chaos just to keep himself going. Another ward taken out using the pink wards by Moscow 5. And they are going to start this one off. Reginald is down there. He's got blue buff as well. So can spam into this area. They're focusing first on Gosu Pep, and we are going to see Darian come diving out. Here comes the ulti from Diamonds across them as well. There was the ulti there from Mordekaiser onto X Special as well. The first kill did come down as that boomerang blade almost catching Nunu out. And well, TSM, they've picked up the kill. It was onto Diamonds, and they're going to try and run away from this one. Gosu Pepper actually has been chasing here as well, as Rainman has pushed that top turret. Great play from TSM to get a kill from a 4-on-5, plus get the turret kill up top.
Yeah, and it was just like the first game where Chaos and Genja had kind of like split apart. The AD stayed down the bottom for as long as he could, and then when the fight all started, he was actually out of position, so he suddenly realised, I can't really get into this. He had to get involved, had to try and wake his way around, so he wasn't very effective during the fight. And obviously, of course, during all that, Tryndamere up the top, the Rayman was just farming all the way through that. But Chaos, managing to pick up a kill. Very unlucky not to get Gosu Pepper, because he was down to 60 health there. I think if the Boomerang Blade had passed the second time through, it would have got that kill. So they've continued farming.
Middle, they're actually pushing in here onto Mordekaiser as well. Odd one. Oh, they can't quite get in there. Odd one's Q just missing out. Reginald was forced fairly low. Tryndamere's hanging in there as well. They're going to be stacking up again for this Dragon. Irelia is alone up top, and they may just exchange positions completely, actually. Obviously, Rainman in that last Dragon fight took down the top turret. It's already been heavily started by TSM. Bottom lane for Moscow 5 is nowhere near, and they're going to have to try and let this one go. Diamonds actually gets himself exhausted. Ignite is in there as well. This is a dead Diamonds. Odd one is going to pick that one up, and that is 5-0 in the kills for TSM.
And you know what? I can actually hear cheering. I'm not sure if that's just Riot cheering out the front there or not. Keeping their American counterparts could just be freak. But, that was a great kill. And Shyvana was actually just trying to get in, maybe try and get the smite on there, but obviously didn't quite work out before them. And they've not skipped a beat at all. Reginald went up towards the top, obviously to prevent Darian from taking down that tower. Has actually gone back to buy, so now he's got the Hextech Revolver to go with those triple Doran's rings he had earlier on. Mordekaiser has completed the Will of the Ancients now, as suspected, but Tryndamere now taking the red buff and has it and says thank you very much. So counter jungling from the Rainman onto Moscow 5 and say, you know what, I'm going to take all your buffs this time. The odd one will probably give this blue buff across to Cassiopeia, I guess. Yes, Reginald is now moving towards that. Or the Expression maybe being caught out of position here, but Genja actually using that slow and missing it. You can see Mordekaiser was coming down to try and cut them off. Oh, he's been caught out of position still. He's not too sure whether to go north or south. Pings go down. Clairvoyance went down, but he managed to dodge out of the way of it, and Minions taking down the bottom turret. So TSM now have top and bottom. They have the double lane advantage, as well as taking the first Dragon. TSM looking strong, 5k up in gold, really in a very good position early on.
Yeah, and again, we are seeing Mordekaiser there in the middle. He's not got too much to stick around this turret, to be quite honest with you. If Reginald decides to go a bit more offensive, that could go a bit pear-shaped for Alex in middle. And again, Reginald pushing so strong. Obviously, the outer turrets are down for both players. Up at top, Rainman and Darian just exchanged a little bit there, but we will see this middle turret go down. Diamonds needs to be careful not to get caught out of position. The Clairvoyance did go down. Reginald not quite got the vision to act too much on that one, and there goes the middle turret, finally dealt with by TSM. They are currently 3-0 up with the turret kills, 5-0 in champion kills, and around about 6.5k in gold. So far, so good for TSM, and I hope that they win this one in a way, because I want to see game number 3.
We won a third game, exactly. So TSM, we talked about, obviously, Moscow 5 being a little bit formulaic. TSM, they'd love to take out those front 3 towers, easy for me to say. Aurelia, though, is continuing to push the top here. He does have Tryndamere coming up behind him. He's teleporting now. I think Tryndamere might get to him just before he does. He will spin in. Yes, he will. He manages to get the damage on him. Don't think he's really going to be able to take him down. He just wants to farm. He's like, I'm just really going to be annoying for you. That's more than anything. Yeah, he just wants to farm. Didn't go aggressive on him. Someone that is going aggressive, though, is Reginald down the bottom. He is having a whale of a time at the moment. Obviously, that blue buff from the very start has just helped him out so much. And potentially, we're going to maybe see that if we get to a third game. Very early days, though. We're just about moving into the team phase. Remember, obviously, they have a big bruiserish team here, Moscow 5, so they're going to try to protect Cogmore as much as possible. But Cogmore is trying his best to keep the farm going. 86, though, CS to 115 Chaos, so 30 behind already. Of course, looking towards the mid, you can see that they are very even on CS, but Reginald has picked up that 1-0-3 compared to a 0-1-0, very much between 127 CS, identical at the moment. Up the top, 130 to 132, so again, very much identical. So the big difference at the moment is Chaos is out farming down the bottom, which is something we haven't seen against Genja for quite some time. Obviously, you know, we've seen Chaos doing fantastic, but last game he was under control for a while when that tower was finally pinned off. So at the moment, TSM looking strong, and Reginald again taking them wraiths. I've actually lost count of the amount of times he's come round, taken that big wraith away, and continued to pressure on towards Mordekaiser.
Yeah, and he's really enjoying it as well. That kill that we saw from him earlier on was like Reggie is happy. He's happiest.
You can bet he had a big grin on his face when that happened.
Yeah, more than that even. I guess he was laughing when that all went down. But they still need to keep their focus high here, TSM, and you know, they've got this advantage with the turrets. They're starting to push here, there, and everywhere, but you know, they're not really making any kind of positional advances. We are going to see Mordekaiser coming in. Ulti is down on Reginald, and not a prayer, Morda.
Yeah, and it was actually Mordekaiser that went for the kill,
yeah.
But Reginald didn't really need the help. At least, and obviously came in towards the end there, but Reginald picking up the kill nevertheless. So that's 2-0-3 and 0-2-0 Alex. So Alex is not having as much of a run of mid that he has done in the past, certainly in this tournament so far. This is the first time we've actually seen him up against it, and we actually kind of expected it against Reginald, but it didn't work out the first game. But this game definitely pulling his weight. Rainman, in the meantime, going to go back up to the top and continue his AFK farm. It's what you need to do, and this game is playing perfectly in the hands of TSM. They needed a longer game for Tryndamere, obviously, unless he gets fed early on, which always helps. He just needs to build up. They are going to switch straight across. They wanted to catch Genja maybe, but they're going to push towards this tower. They have a 3-man stack down at the bottom. Reginald again continuing in the mid there. The two top bruisers continue to farm. So if anything, keeping Darian in that top lane is just winning the game.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, and you know, I said they're not really pushing hard in any place, but that's what they're waiting for right now. They're fine that Tryndamere is going to be farming up there, plus getting this kill every now and then, setting themselves up for the Dragons, and slowly but surely pushing this game away. Actually, we are going to see TSM moving back towards the Baron position. Alex is in middle. Needs to be a little bit careful there, actually. If they manage to get in behind him, that could all change. And actually, especially is coming up. Is he going to walk into the path of TSM? No, they know where he is, though, because there is a ward down in that curved brush. As we see the pink wards going in and around that dragon area, TSM will back away because it's a 4 versus 5 once Cogmore gets himself in there. And actually, Moscow 5 are going to pull the dragon out of its pit, but are they going to stay to it? TSM are moving in slowly but surely. Tryndamere will join the fight in just a few seconds as well. Dragon continuing to do damage in and amongst all of them, and they are going to push in. They are going to dive. Diamonds is going to go down. Reginald did fall in and amongst it all, but I think Moscow 5 is still coming out way underneath with this one. Rainman's got a kill. Darian's going to go down to Chaos. Where's the other one? It's Genja, who just ran away. And there was another scream from outside in the audience. It is going to be 10-1 for TSM. 4 kills for the 1. They will be very happy about that as they start the Baron.
And I should point out, actually, those cheers, it's just clicked. It's probably from
TSM.
It's probably from every other LoL team that's here. Because everybody wants to beat Moscow 5. You've got Curse out there, Dignitas out there, SK out there, and everybody said to them, just beat Moscow 5. You've got to beat Moscow 5. So TSM at the moment have become like the favourites in the LoL community for taking it, and they will poke up the Baron. Brilliantly done. So 10-1 in kills and massively up 3-0 on towers. You can see 10k difference now between the gold and diamonds on Shyvana. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you could say they don't need to ban Shyvana, they just needed to counter Darien, which seems to have worked. They've kept Gangplank away, they've really just kept him in there, and obviously they took Lee Sin early, which is what they had last game. They jungled with Lee Sin, obviously let Shyvana be the roam top, and it's just worked very well. They just, everything they've maybe thought of, so are they going to say, shall we do the same again if they go ahead and win this one? That's a big if. They haven't won it yet. I'm not going to get ahead of myself. They do have Baron buff, though, and they are working their way straight up mid as a 5-man. But if they take this one, more to the point, will Moscow 5 go, right, okay, time to pull out Strat B, which they may have tucked away in their bag. We don't know.
You would certainly expect so, I think, at the level that they are and the way that they've been playing this one. We can see a bit of poke coming down now onto this turret. It is below half HP already. Actually, Reggie just taking the pot there, just to give him that little boost, up to almost 300 AP with that Will of the Ancients, and blasting 1 plus triple Doran's ring, and you can see that Chaos is hammering away on this bottom turret. They need to be careful, Moscow 5, that TSM don't decide all of a sudden to just say, bam, just like that, exactly like that. They're going in there. We are going to see the new ulti go off, which does pretty much nothing. Diamonds is ignited and will fall, actually, to Sona in the end. Xpecial doesn't want to get cut off from his team here, but that is going to be a 2-for-1, again, in favour of TSM. Reginald continues to just push a little bit. I think they'll go for this turret. I think they'll keep going at this point.
They've got absolutely no reason why to back off. They're going to just poke it away from range. They are, you can see Darian's already very low. Mordekaiser hasn't got a great deal, but I think they're going to possibly back. I'm just going to see whether they're actually going to pick anything up. The mid turret is pretty low, so they might just think, let's just take that one. Rayman building up a bit of health, so possibly even could tank it with KX. It's what they might go for. No, they're just going to back straight away. They do have Baron buff, of course, but they are going to continue to farm, so they're going to steal away all the buffs. Red's not up, so Rayman has been CV'd, so he's going to back away from that one. Actually, that's his own CV, isn't it? So they have backed off and going to spend that gold. How much gold have they got? 2,300 on Reginald, 1,300 on Siva, and well, it's a good reason to go back when you've got nearly 2.5k on you. What will Reggie do with that? Hasn't gone back yet, hasn't teleported in, so I guess he's just going to sit on that nest egg.
And then come back twice as strong next time he's back into the fight to try and catch Moscow 5 a little bit more unaware in these fights. I mean, they've dropped 2 kills here, one onto Reginald, one onto the odd one, and they've picked up 12. It's, just going so well for TSM. We are going to see them continue to poke around this middle area. Chaos bouncing blades just destroying the minion waves that are coming out now, and we are going to see Rayman actually tanking this turret. I'm not sure, by the way, if we've seen Rayman even need to use his ulti yet.
No, he's just been lapping up that Sivir ulti every time it gets used. Xpecial picking up a bunch of farm now. He's like, Reggie, really, this is the only gold I get. just let me have a single ward. Oh, you saw it again. We need to get placed again now, and we'll take it down. Actually, I think Reginald's probably saving to go to Rabadon's death cap directly. Via the needlessly large rod instantly sort of thing. We do see Moscow 5 having a look around, but they are actually trapped in their base at the moment. Cogmore has tried to continue his farm down the bottom, though, so we've got to keep
sandwiched in the middle. They're actually going to get in there. Reginald missed his ultimate. We are going to see the new ulti go off. We did see Xpecial throw his ulti down as well. Gosu Pepper is surely a dead man. Yeah, he runs straight into Chaos there. Diamonds did, though, get away, but can they escape everyone else? Darian is now the focus of the attention. Good work from Reginald to knock him back, and this top turret is going to be the next focus. They do have that siege minion. Not that really makes that much of a difference at this point when they're up there with 4 guys. But that turret is going to go down very quickly. Gosu Pepper, who he's not had much to say about this game, to be honest. 0-4-2. He's really not been in it all that much. As TSM will once again back away. Baron Buff is gone now.
So the big important question for me is, will the Moscow 5 ban out Sona? Because I don't think they realise just how big a weapon TSM believe that is.
They'll also get first pick next game.
They will. So there's a lot of things that could change should we make it to game 3, which at the moment is looking almost certain, as they have a 14k gold advantage. CV used, and actually they will spot the Rayman. And Rayman's thinking, I fancy a bit of that.
Yeah,
big
he can't stay there. He's not as big as he looks.
And of course he's building into an Infinity Edge. He's already got the Phantom Dancer and Wriggles completed with his Berserker Greaves. If he gets that Infinity Edge
he's
complete,
already insane.
It's just like, you're not going to survive that a great deal. And it's up to 1,300 gold. He's going to need a chunk more than that, but they continue to invade and take everything from the jungle away from Moscow 5. And as is the situation when you get like this, you're trying your best to keep your 2 carries farming away. Darian up the top there, hammering away, really needs to pick up as much CS as he can. Genja was down the bottom trying to get as much as possible. Genja actually does have very little damage, a lot of attack speed though, so he's relying on the buffs and the abilities and the help that his team will give him, picking up that red buff, just using that long range poke. But they are well out of position here because TSM are just looking to go straight in towards the tower. They have a stack of minions coming in. The only person there is Alex. He's had to flash away, gets exhausted. Alex is going to get popped before the rest of the team can react. Now Moscow 5 are coming across, but it's all too little too late. Aurelia has ported back though, has taken down that top turret for them, and that is actually the first turret of the game for Moscow 5, but TSM are in their base, killing their dudes and taking the tower down. That will be the first Nexus turret gone. Will they go for the second? He actually, Boomerang Blade completely missing there. Gosu Pepper has been dotted up. You can see it ticking down on him. Darian only at half health as well. Haven't really had much of a chance to dive in or pop his ulti or do anything. At the moment, they're trying their best to take this turret down. Minions are just about to get cleared out. Will they continue to stick around? Yes, they will. They're going to go forwards. Genja has to flash straight out. Crescendo going across. Diamonds goes down. Gosu Pepper pop. Darian's going to follow. And of course, that will be a kill just about on the fountain. Just about flash to it. They will take the Nexus turret down. And Joe, I think we might be seeing a second game shortly. Rayman finally using his ulti. That's the first time I've actually caught him. I'm sure he's probably used it a couple of other times, but that's definitely the first time we managed to catch it. Oh, a complete dive onto Genja there from the odd one. They are going to poke at this Nexus. I don't think they're going to get it down this time. They're going to have to back away because the rest of Moscow 5 are starting to spawn, but TSM are now pretty much got that 1 foot into the third match.
Yeah, and, Alex was kind of out of position there. He was trying to defend his bottom turret.
He was in position. Everybody else was out of position.
If you look at it that way, I suppose it's right. He was in position, and the rest of his team weren't. But he put his ulti down on Tryndamere, which for me is like... What was why? If you're gonna, in that situation, you at least need to do some damage with it, which to Tryndamere is just like not a problem whatsoever. And they pushed in there. That inhibitor's down. Those 2 turrets are down. It's a wide open Nexus. And if we look at Tryndamere, he's actually gone up to Last Whisper there, just building a bit of magic resist with that Negatron cloak.
Full armor pen, yeah.
The worst thing at the moment for Moscow 5 is, if they get caught out of position, Tryndamere can, in theory, just leg it into their base and kill their Nexus.
He could easily backdoor it, yeah, definitely, without a doubt. And he's got the agility pot on as well. You can see the speed he's hitting these things. He's only in for 480 at the moment. That Infedge, once that gets built up, which would be like, oh hi, he could probably actually, looking across, they've tried to catch out the odd one there, tried to dive in. Special does put Crescendo across. Alex dancing away, and the odd one immediately jumps on him. Chaos is with him. He's going to bounce it across there, gets exhausted actually, and Diamond now completely caught out of position, tries to ulti through, and Chaos becomes godlike as Tryndamere now thinking, right, I'm after that big fat the Nunu that's around there, I can get him. But no, they've wisely called it and said, ignore them, let's just go straight for that base. They're going to pick up the inhibitor, in fact they're going to ignore the inhibitor, direct for Nexus turret, do not pass go, collect £100, and you will take victory. 19-3 is the kills, and TSM have unlocked the key that is Moscow 5, as Moscow 5 lose their first match of the tournament. And that is a big confidence boost for TSM. Surely they are going to be thinking, right, we've got this now, we know how to do it.
That's a massive confidence boost. And before this tournament, everyone was looking at Moscow 5 as the winners, like pretty much instantly before the tournament even started. But we made 1 point on the first day, which was Moscow 5 is one of the only teams here, maybe even they're the only team who's not played on a stage like this before.
Yeah.
And now is when that is really going to affect Moscow 5, if it affects them at all.
And what are we looking at the body language from these guys? We saw them earlier, they were just like chilling, sat back. Actually, Darian still looks pretty chilled, doesn't he, in the bottom corner there? He's just like, yeah, whatever, it's fine. But actually, for the first time, they're starting to have to really talk. They weren't even talking before, they were just like, it's okay, this is no problem, we've got it covered. If you want to quickly look in towards the game screen, you can see obviously the kills, obviously they're doing, looking at the players, you can see TSM there. They're not talking this time around. Maybe they have a super secret strat, maybe they're going to pull out, but we can see obviously that they're just the builds, they were way ahead. It's the first time we've seen Moscow 5 so heavily beaten. Now Darian on Aurelia, he got a lot of CS, 228, I think the highest on the map. So obviously he was at the top there, but he didn't get to do his invade, which was what was causing the problems for so many teams so many times. So they've just done a great job of controlling him. The question is, will Moscow 5 counter-ban anything they've picked up there? You can really only get away with a hyper-carry Tryndamere probably once. Actually didn't have that much of an effect on the team, but that was kind of all built in with it. And again, will they maybe pick Lee Sin first? Like you say, they've got first pick and first ban, I believe, this time around.
Yeah, and he stopped Darian really from moving around there, because Tryndamere, once he gets built up like that, he's going to push a lane really, really quickly. And Darian just couldn't afford to go there. Obviously, we're going to move into match number 3 now, which is what everyone wanted to see.
Yes.
We wanted to see all these best of 3s. There's a quick look at the scoreboard, a real quick look at the scoreboard. It's like, there it is, in and gone. But KX finished 7-0-9. He was the top scorer actually in that one. Odd one 4-1-12 as well. But enough about that game. We're going to be going to a quick break, but when we come back, it will be match number 3. If you go anywhere, you're going to miss an amazing one.